Okay, now I just saw another video that popped up. A pilot arrested, for alcohol, and I've seen videos like that before, where I think it was legit, where it was a police camera. But this one was just like a quick news thing. And again, if you really wanted to, you could verify if it was a real news network. Um, it gave the name of an aviation consultant. You could look that up if he's a real guy. You know, because there's probably laws involved. But how are you going to sue AI? It's like, what's the source? Who set it in motion? But the guy who was talking seemed like he was all right. But the reporter kind of had that like robotic voice. Now I know reporters kind of have that robotic voice, anyways. Like you know, uh, you know, Cynthia Dog Sweater reporting live from Delaware. And they just say things weird. Like, and then uh, the victim of the cheeseburger scandal decided to take action. They talk fucking weird. Um, he got halfway through his cheeseburger. He stopped by to get him some food after a hard day's work. He always stops by on Tuesday for the Tuesday cheeseburger special. And uh, Bobby Burger Boy said he noticed something different by the time he got halfway through his burger. And then it cuts to Bobby Burger Boy. Hey, I was just enjoying my burger, man, just like I always do. They got really good burgers here. They got this sauce, and it's really good. And it's a really good price, and I always got the good deal on Tuesday, and I like to stop by after work, get me a little something, something, a little love, because I got to love my life. If anybody's watching, and you look like hot and shit, it's like I'm single, ladies. But anyway, I got halfway through my burger, and I'm like, I noticed something was off. And I opened the burger, and it's like, there ain't no meat patty on here. And I was like, man, that's fucked up. That's beep. That's a beeped up. I mean, it's like, we're just out here trying to, eat some food. And then it cuts back to the reporter, shit like that. But I don't know why they talk like that, but um, and my dad's been on the news a few times, like at least twice, and it's been like a while ago, but again, he's like, man, they cut out all the important shit and just just went with this shit. I'm sorry, I he's been on the news. He's been in the newspaper, you know, and he's been like to these conventions and stuff. And I've talked all that shit before, about what an awesome dude my dad is. But I just remember that he's like, they talked to me for like 10 minutes, and they just showed like 2 minutes. Well, this guy's cutting a fat hog. That's it. I remember. Oh shit. I was young too at the time. I was shit, probably like 12, 13 years old. Fucking reporters, man. The media. And my dad's a humble guy, right? So he wasn't like, well, those bastards. He's just like, shit. They talked to me for like 10 minutes and they showed the 2 minutes, of the most least important shit. Just some mechanic who's, this guy's cutting a fair, because he must have said something like, you need to do this to prevent that. Otherwise, it ends up costing a lot of money. And it's almost like they planned it. It's like they fucked him over. They did him dirty. Oh, well, I think it's funny. Pardon my enthusiasm. Shit. Damn. But anyway, I just saw that. It's like, is this legit? Is it a real airline? What's next? It's like, are all pilots drunk? Because I do remember that was a thing that happened once when I was like a kid. It happened. Like I said, humans. They're laid over. They put them in a nice hotel. They drink a little bit too much where it's not out of their system. Or whatever. And it's happened. But that's all I wanted to say. This is 5 minutes, but just shit.